Masha was a curious little girl who loved listening to her grandmother's stories. Every night she dreamed of visiting the magical jungle where animals live freely and happily. One day she asked, "Grandmother, can we visit the jungle you talk about?" Her grandmother smiled and agreed, knowing it would be a trip full of adventure and learning. Early the next morning, Masha and her grandmother packed their essentials, some fruits, water, and a small book. "We'll only take what we need," her grandmother said, "and always respect the jungle and its creatures." Masha nodded eagerly, her excitement lighting up her face as they prepared for the big day ahead. The jungle path was like stepping into another world. Tall trees stretched high above, their leaves dancing with the sunlight. Birds chirped melodiously, and a soft breeze carried the sweet scent of flowers. Masha held her grandmother's hand tightly, feeling both excitement and wonder as they walked deeper into the forest. As they ventured further, they heard the sound of a stream trickling nearby. "Nature has its own music," her grandmother said, smiling. Masha listened closely to the rustling leaves, chirping birds and bubbling water. The jungle seemed alive, full of secrets waiting to be discovered. Suddenly, they saw movement ahead. A large brown balu sat under a shady tree, looking peaceful but alert. "Look, grandmother, a balu," whispered Masha. "Stay calm, Beta," her grandmother replied softly. "Remember, we're visitors here, and we must respect their home." Masha nodded, holding her breath as they observed the majestic creature. To show they meant no harm, her grandmother gently placed an apple on the ground. The balu sniffed the air curiously before lumbering over to eat it. Masha watched in awe as the balu enjoyed the fruit, its demeanor calm and friendly. "See," her grandmother whispered, "kindness is understood by all." After finishing the apple, the balu looked at them and let out a low growl, not of anger, but as if inviting them to follow. Her grandmother hesitated but decided to trust the balu. "Let's see where he's leading us," she said. Masha's heart raced with excitement as they began to follow their new guide. The balu led them to a stunning clearing. In the middle was a sparkling blue lake surrounded by trees. Animals of all kinds, deer, monkeys, and colorful birds, had gathered to drink water and play. Masha gasped in amazement. "It's like a dream, grandmother," she said, her eyes wide with wonder. Masha noticed how the animals shared the space without disturbing each other. "They live in harmony, grandmother," she said. Her grandmother nodded. "That's nature's way, Beta. Every creature has its role, and when we respect each other, we all thrive." The lesson sank deep into Masha's heart. The balu sat down near the water, signaling that it was time to rest. Her grandmother and Masha joined him, feeling completely at ease. The jungle seemed to embrace them, its gentle sounds and fresh air soothing their spirits. It felt like they had become part of the forest family. Masha took out some of their food, sharing small pieces with the birds and a curious squirrel. Her grandmother smiled, watching her granddaughter's kindness. "The jungle is teaching you well, Beta," she said. Masha felt proud and happy, knowing she was making new friends in nature. As the afternoon sun began to lower, the balu growled softly, urging them to follow again. This time, he took them through a dense part of the jungle. "Where is he taking us now?" Masha wondered, her curiosity bubbling over as they followed their furry friend. They soon arrived at a spot full of wild berries and flowers. The air was sweet and the sight was mesmerizing. Masha laughed as she picked a few berries, making sure to leave enough for the animals. Sharing is caring, even in the jungle, her grandmother reminded her. While Masha tasted a berry, the balu suddenly stood still, sniffing the air. Her grandmother noticed it too and whispered, "The jungle speaks in many ways. Pay attention." The balu led them away quickly, and soon they heard a distant roar. "It's probably another animal warning us," her grandmother explained. They quietly moved along. The balu took them to a safer spot, a hill with a beautiful view of the sunset. They could see the jungle stretch endlessly, glowing in hues of gold and orange. Masha sat down, mesmerized by the beauty, and said, "I never knew the jungle could be this magical, grandmother." As they rested, a family of monkeys appeared, chattering loudly. One curious monkey came close to Masha, who offered it a small piece of fruit. It snatched the treat happily, making her laugh. The jungle is full of surprises, she exclaimed, while her grandmother nodded with a knowing smile. Night began to fall, and the jungle transformed. Fireflies lit up the dark, and the sounds of crickets filled the air. Masha watched in awe as the jungle came alive in a whole new way. The jungle is magical, day or night, grandmother said softly, holding her hand. The bear led them to a quiet clearing where they could rest. Grandmother spread a small blanket on the ground, and they sat under the stars. The night sky was brilliant, filled with countless stars twinkling above. This is more beautiful than I imagined, Masha whispered. Masha was curious about the bear. Why is he helping us, grandmother? She asked. Because kindness is a language every creature understands, grandmother replied. The bear lay nearby, as though protecting them, its soft growls blending with the jungle's night sounds. Masha felt safe and grateful. Suddenly, the distant howl of a wolf echoed through the jungle. Masha shivered slightly, but grandmother reassured her. Every sound has its place here. We are safe as long as we respect the jungle's rules. The bear growled softly, as if agreeing with her words. The next morning, Masha woke up to the sound of birds singing. The bear nudged her gently with its nose, as if saying, "Time to go." Grandmother smiled, gathering their things. "The jungle has given us memories we'll treasure forever," she said, as they prepared to leave. The bear guided them to the edge of the jungle, ensuring their safety. Masha felt a tinge of sadness. "Will we see him again, grandmother?" she asked. "Perhaps," grandmother replied, "but for now, we must thank him for being such a kind host." At the edge of the jungle, Masha turned to the bear. "Thank you, my friend," she said with a big smile. The bear looked at her one last time, letting out a soft growl as if saying goodbye, then lumbered back into the trees, disappearing into the greenery. Back at home, Masha couldn't stop talking about her adventure. She shared stories of the bear, the animals by the lake, and the magical fireflies. Her parents listened in amazement, while grandmother smiled knowingly. "The jungle is a teacher, and Masha has learned well," grandmother said. That night, Masha dreamed of the bear in the jungle. In her dream, the bear was her guardian, leading her through lush landscapes filled with friendly animals. The jungle glowed with a golden light, and Masha felt at peace, knowing she had made a special connection with nature. The next day, Masha picked up her notebook and began drawing everything she had seen. The bear, the lake, the fireflies, and the animals. She wanted to keep the memories alive forever. Grandmother encouraged her, saying, "Your stories will inspire others to love and respect nature." As weeks passed, Masha started planting small trees around her home, inspired by the jungle's beauty. She wanted to create her own little forest. Grandmother helped her, and soon birds and butterflies began visiting. "The jungle has taught you well," grandmother said with pride. One evening, as the sun set, Masha looked toward the jungle in the distance. She thought of the bear and smiled. "Thank you, my friend," she whispered, knowing that the jungle had given her more than memories. It had taught her lessons for life. Years later, Masha still remembered her journey. She often told her friends and younger children about the bear who had guided them, sharing the importance of kindness and harmony with nature. Her words inspired many to treat the earth with respect and care. Masha's story reminds us all that nature is our friend when treated with love and respect. Just as the bear welcomed her and grandmother, the jungle welcomes everyone willing to live in harmony with its wonders. And so, the magical bond between humans and nature continues to grow.